Paco, and you're watching Pouch Books. Today we're going to be going over some of my favorite bookish villains. It is Halloween, October, and October is spooky month. If you know, I'm doing a spooktacular TBR, and it is Disney villain themed. And since I love me some good villains, I was like, let's talk about some good villains. Now, most of my favorite villains are all in other medias, like comic books and TVs and movies. And if I do a ranking of my favorite villains of all time, it'd be like Maleficent, Ursula, the Wicked Witch of the West. There are not a lot that are books from novels and book villains, but here are a list of 5 that I can think of that I just really like their dynamics. They're not like my favorite villains, but they're just really fun and interesting villains. So we'll start with the villain of Crown of Feathers by Nikki Powell Pareto. Now, the villain in Crown of Feathers is a sister, and her name is... what's her name? Well, it is the main character's sister. So this book follows 2 sisters that are animal mages. They have the ability to speak to animals, who are trying to become Phoenix Riders, who were once the royal protectors of the realm. But there was a civil war, and the Phoenix Riders were kind of kicked out of the kingdom, and they're trying to bring that back. And our main character is the youngest sister, and her older sister is the villain of the series, and I love their dynamic. She is there's a twist that we find out later I don't want to get into that is really cool and interesting about the world and magic system, but I really do like her. I think she's a really fun and interesting villain, and honestly, I wish we got more of her POV because just her mental process so complex and so fun. And I love a good toxic sibling dynamic, family drama. Give it to me, and this one was full of it. So I really do like the sister in this. Speaking of toxic family dynamics, the next villain I have is Serpent and Dove, Morgane in Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. So our main character is Lou de Blanc, and our villain is Morgana LeBlanc, Lou's mother, who basically is trying to kill Lou to do a spell, her own daughter to do a spell. And that is the main premise, one of the main premises of the book. And I really enjoyed Morgane as a villain. She's completely unhinged and evil and just a crazy psycho witch, and that's my favorite. She is so unredeemable as a villain that it is fun to watch a mustache twirly villain. We love our sympathetic villains, but sometimes I just like someone who likes to be evil just to be evil. And even though Morgana has her, or what she thinks are her reasons for doing it, she's still just villainous and willing to do whatever she wants to get her way. And that's just fun. I don't root for her. I don't really root for any of these villains, but they are just fun to read about. Morgane is so interesting. I would like to maybe somehow see something from her point of view in a future prequel or something. Maybe, I doubt it, but she was so interesting. And even in the second series, follows a different character who was affected by Morgane, and it was just so interesting as a villain. And I think she's so cool. I think I have art of her right here. Yeah, Morgane LeBlanc. She's right there. So interesting. I'm going to be rereading this series in December, the first book in December, and I'm very excited to get into her. I think she's such a compelling character, and it's just fun to have a mustache twirly villain. And speaking of mustache twirly villains, to get probably one of the most despicable people on this list, reality-wise, and that is Helene of Her Majesty's Royal Coven. So if you don't know what this book is about, it is about a group of witches that after another civil war, for the witches, that Helen is our new high priestess, and there is a child that is found that is supposed to be prophesized to doom them all, and she gets her friends to help her. And Helen is basically a TERF. This book is supposed to be written as a FU to the HP series, and Helen is terrible. We hate her in this house, but it is fun to watch her be, because she's like Morgane, but kind of more sinister because she's kind of realistic in her way, and it's fun to see her get her buttons in this, but like just to have someone so truly evil in her mentality, and we do get Helen's POV in this book, so to get someone's like mentality of these like heinous thoughts is so interesting, and like her the thought processes that she has to make to do what she wants is so interesting. Like, she's not our main character, but we do get she gets a major part of the POV in this, and it's so interesting, and that's what I like about it as well, and I am enjoying it. I've enjoyed it, and I think Helen is such an interesting and cool, not cool good, but just cool to hate. Like, I hate her, fight her in the streets, hands, but that's fun. Another villain, which I'm hoping to see more of, is the Priory of the Orange Tree, our Witch of the Woods. I can't remember her real name. She has so many. But there is a folkloric Witch of the Woods in this series, and because the books are different timelines, this is like the current time, like the oldest in the, like the current time. The last book was a prequel, and I think the one before that's going to be in between these. But we have a character, she's in both. She's been in both. That is so interesting and complex as a villain that the minute like they started talking about her, I was automatically like, ooh, what is this? Like, it's just so cool. She's a shape-shifting witch, and she is so crazy that I love it. Like, crazy witches, sign me up. I support women's rights and wrongs unless you're a TERF. But I just thought she was so interesting as a villain and is so fun. She just fits that archetype I like. And I mean, you can see I have a type of like villains that I really, really like. But yeah, this is number 4. And then the last villain that I'm going to talk about today, did I get it off the shelf? No. Is not a good villain. Not a villain, not like the other ones I enjoyed. I hated her. I wanted to fight her. But it is the big bad for Empire of Gold in S.A. Chakraborty's series. This is a character where I'm not going to reveal too much about her because, like, spoilers. But me and her in meeting in the streets were fighting. She is a terrible human being. She's aligned with Helen as, like, we gotta fight kind of character. Maybe more so because this series is finished and she's in it longer than Helen is. Helen's only in the first book. And this girl is kind of like master webbing stuff. Like, she's a cool, like, mastermind villain, like the ultimate big bad of the series. And in a world where this book series, everybody's a villain except for like our MC, because it's political intrigue, so everybody has their own, like, everybody's a villain to everybody, but this character takes the cake, and we gotta fight. Like, really, we gotta fight. I'm trying to be as vague as possible because I don't want to spoil it, but I thought she was a really interesting villain. Some of my other, like, favorite fictional villains, of course, I said Maleficent because, like, I like I like characters that are overall here to do what they want and they don't care about others. I love me a good Ursula, fits in that vein. But I also do like a good sympathetic villain. Like, Magneto and Mystique are really interesting villains. Doctor Doom as well are both, like, and Namor in Black Panther 2 was really great as a villain. So I like all types of villains. Comment down below. I will probably do like a sequel to this series, to this video in the future, but I was like, it's Halloween, let me do a fun type of video for Halloween, for the extra video of the month. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. I post videos every Friday, and bye.